Game.
Wanna try some first?
Sige.
This is white chocolate on the right. Fruit sauce on the right. And
Fruit sauce. So, blueberry, gano'n.
it's a bit sweet though. Hindi natatado yogurt.
Hmm.
And some crunchies.
Sarap.
I always get the same thing, so I switch it up. Is it recording?
Yes.
Sorry.
Hindi, okay lang. Nanood kami ng The Kingdom. Starring, regrettably, Vic Soto, Piolo Pascual.
Why regrettably po yun?
Regrettably, Vic Soto.
Okay.
Okay, Piolo Pascual.
I like all of us po.
Yeah. I think he's too cute to be a farmer. Yeah.
I appreciate that he's at least tan.
Oo, na parang good on the makeup department, good on the color grading. Ginawa siyang, mukhang babad sa araw. Yan. Great. First impressions. Just like off the bat.
I like it because you have an alternate, what do you call it? Alternate timeline.
Yeah. So premise ng The Kingdom, Pilipinas, pero hindi siya tuluyang nasakop ng Spain, US, Japan, US. Yeah. Ano pa? So format-wise, story-wise, story beats-wise, tropes-wise, typical Filipino family drama. With stakes elevated to the level of what if your family drama were involving the wealth and power of an entire nation.
Too much killing though.
I think just the right amount for given what it is in the realm of like Filipino cinema, Filipino television.
Oh yeah. People are supposed to die.
Yeah. You always have to have like kuya, ganon, ng klaseng shit. Yeah. So a lot of that, a lot of the same tropes. What else? Oh, just the context for all my criticism. One, I acknowledge that Filipino media literacy is not, like, across the board, hindi tayo nag-engage with media at the same level and at the same frequency that Westerners and people from developed nations are able to. So I get that everything has to be heavy-handed and everything has to be tell rather than show in the language of film.
Here.
Yeah. That you have to give the story on a silver platter to your audience. And you can't rely as much on the ability to infer na parang, oh, kaya pala ganito yung nangyari kasi nagganito si ganito. So that's why they had that whole montage with Tim's like
Tim?
Yeah, the princess kontrabida.
Tim?
Yung pinaka-kontrabida na princess Tim, si
Yeah.
Matim
I forgot that.
Basta some old Tagalog word for whatever virtue. So that's how the kids in the royal family are named.
I like Sid Lucero,
Si Lucero played
the prince.
yeah. Si Bagwis.
Because I actually thought he was bad.
Yeah, like his character is cool because he's a typical incompetent asshole child na because he's the first male, pinapabor pa rin ng the whole society.
I like this.
Yeah. His whole
Not this.
yeah. Well constructed character. How did you feel about the characterizations as a whole? Like how they were written and how they were developed over the plot.
They're all useless children.
What kind of one note?
Yeah.
Yeah. The children in the plot are very static. Which is sad because it's framed as a political family drama. And those are the main characters that are supposed to like undergo development throughout the story. But the only one who actually changes, and it's not a change that I appreciated, was Piolo Pascual.
Change?
His character turned heel so fast. From vengeful son of working class background, or like shunned nobility, all of a sudden, one talk with the king, and it's like, whoa, awesome, I love the monarchy. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Pinatay nila yung tatay mo, di ba? Parang,
Yeah, that's years of built up.
yeah, built up aggression that can't be washed over by one explanation.
And he has nightmares.
Yeah. Bro has PTSD from his dad being killed by the monarch.
He has a mark
Right.
on his hand.
Yeah. It's physical, mental, emotional. Like the whole character is built on that traumatic event, and then suddenly, it's if not forgiven, absolved during the fight with between Piolo Pascual and Vic Soto.
I mean, he's dead.
He's dead, but Piolo Pascual's character is remorseful of that fact, which I
Yeah.
think should not be the case. He should feel very vindicated, actually, because because through his dialogue, you're able to see na parang kinonect niya yung pagkamatay ng ama niya with the wider ills of the society as a whole. Like, it's unequal, the rich are too powerful, the nobility amass too much wealth.
That's true.
And so that should be like a solid link already.
That should be his ideals.
Yeah.
And then it just changes.
And then it just changes based on the fact that he didn't mean to do it. Oh, I didn't mean to do it. I was sad to kill your father. What the fuck? Yeah. So that's my gripe. That's a big gripe I have with the plot.
And the youngest daughter wouldn't even be important.
Oo nga eh. Oo. Very dumb si Tim, yung panganay na babae, yung ate. Because she could have totally taken the crown without the pretense of her being... I think it was a hastily derived plot device. I think. There were better ways, I think, to skirt that in there.
And she's gonna fuck up the whole kingdom just because she wants attention.
Right? No, but I like that with her character. So, yung ginawa kasi ni Tim, yung panganay ni Vic Soto na babae. So, it's the kuya, her, and then yung bunso, 3 kids. Siya kasi, parang yung character niya wants nothing but validation from the king, her father. But in her political ambition to fulfill the father's wish of her ascending to the throne, she ends up getting her father killed just by circumstance.
Actually, also her brother.
Yes, and her brother, which was purposeful because
Ay,
he was
oo nga
about
pala.
to inherit. Yeah.
I forgot.
So that I have no issue. I actually like that it ends up being moot for her. Here's where I thought it was going to be cool and complex. Si Tim kasi, at the very end, kinulong siya because of her crimes against the kingdom and the royal family and her siblings. But if she had proceeded to be queen, Lakambini, they call it. So, if she proceeded to become the Lakan, I think that would have been a cooler juxtaposition of she just wanted her father's approval, but now she's queen without her father to support and validate her.
She's not really evil. She's
Yeah.
not corrupt.
I mean, she's a fucked up character, like.
She's not corrupt. She just wanted to become queen.
Yeah, and she had very good political ambition. Like she wanted to rid the kingdom of Kalayaan of its foreign debt by making sure that the arranged marriage of her younger sister to the Prince of Thailand did not go through.
Wasn't that gonna pay off the debt?
But she orchestrated it so that it wouldn't happen. That's why she kidnapped her younger sister,
Why is that good?
so that she's not, a slave to the prince. Because symbolically, that means that Kalayaan is indebted to Thailand, and they're gonna use that always as a bargaining chip against
Us.
against Kalayaan. So I like that. She actually, I would not, maybe I'm a supporter of monarchy if ladies like her are in charge, The whole Babaylan being in on it, kind of ham-fisted. I don't like how
The guards.
prominent of a role. No, Babaylan, the witch doctor, the high priestess.
Yeah.
I don't like how prominent her role became in the whole explanation of Tim's deceit and plot. Kind of ham-fisted, and the performance was a bit much.
Yeah, what's she gonna do?
Yeah. I mean, I get that she has a lot of pull with the king, and he takes a lot of stock in her word.
Like, what did he do to her?
I mean, I guess like she didn't agree with the way that the king was running the kingdom. You know? It was like, shit, we're like being colonized right now. So her and Tim share the same political ambitions and political vision for the country. But I think it's still
But it's
a weak.
not evident.
Yeah. The characterization of the Babaylan is very weak, and I think plays too prominent a role in the third act of the film. What else?
It's like she's just like warning him of stuff, and then all of a sudden she's bad.
Yeah, I mean, I get that. I get that from the standpoint of she's warning him of stuff to plant doubt within him.
Okay, that
Yeah.
makes sense. That's why he was like wary of his son.
Yeah, but I feel that was very ham-fisted and could have been more gracefully. But then again, like I have to forgive the film for a lot of its faults just because it's exactly the kind of film project I want to see made more of.
Yeah.
Alternate timeline, you know, just pure cultural.
Yeah, we can't really fault it too much because it's the first of its kind. It has no reference.
I like it. I like it for that.
Good attempt though.
At least in terms of Philippine film and TV. On a technical level, it's very good too. The fight scenes suffer from Hollywooditis, which is where they cut the action right when it happens, which I think is not how you should do action scenes at all. You should do them the Chinese way of martial arts filmmaking and combat filmmaking. Is you just have a wide angle of everyone fighting each other. And it's not like we don't have the chops to execute stuff like that.
Because the references are available to us.
Yeah. It's just the refusal to like deviate from the style of Hollywood. So again, colonial mentality commentary over there. It's just the way the cookie crumbles.
Maybe we should talk about the things we like.
Prod design, number one. Prod design, concept, world building is 70-30 for me on world
The
building.
interiors look cool.
Interior, yeah, I like all the architectural detail.
The language.
The language, so it sounds like parang nagbabalagtasan sila because it's old Tagalog. They try to remove as much loan words as they can. But me being a linguistic nerd, I have to nitpick. Tatay is still a word, so I have to make inferences based on that. Like, this is already beyond the scope of the film and probably what the writers were thinking. But because I pay attention to this kind of stuff, I just want to put it out there. Tatay is a loan word from Mexico. From tatli. From Nahuatl word tatli. Tito is a loan word from Mexico. From tío. So I have to assume that galleon trade still happens.
For it to have like
For it to have spread among the Filipinos. For us, among the Malaya. Yeah. So there's the assumption that there still is Spanish influence, but not colonization directly. Maybe the kingdom was able to be a sovereign nation before the arrival of the Europeans. That's the implication.
it's still weird that they united all of us and then they still call it.
That's a whole ass That's a whole ass can of worms. The fact that an archipelagic nation like the Philippines manages to birth a political power that, from the Tagalog, no less, so a Tagalog political power that manages to unite the entirety of, or at least most of the Philippines. The Muslims are not mentioned at all. So we don't know what happens to the Moro nation, if anything. Yeah. So there's
There's a
that.
lot of elements of their culture seen.
Yes, yeah. A lot of Buddhist visuals, you know, from Hindu Buddhist kingdoms around Southeast Asia. Yeah, with the death rituals, the parasols, the umbrellas, all the gold ornamentation, very Hindu Buddhist, which is, you know, what we were pre-colonial.
What was put at the end? What was put on his face? Kapis ba yun?
I think glass. That would, but it would be cool if it were mother of pearl, like the material. So at
But
the
dapat
end,
gold.
Vic Soto is masked with like some kind of thingy, like a
Because
death
he's
veil.
dead.
Yeah, during his burial ceremony. I think it might have been an arbitrary choice. It might have been a very detailed choice. I don't know now. I don't know enough to comment on it. But it looked cool as fuck.
I like the the use of like chickens, yung sabong.
Yeah, so key point in the world building is that sabong is still a thing, you know, cockfighting, but instead of chickens, it's people, because the pre-colonial caste system of many groups is retained in this universe. So you have freemen, timawa, you know, maharlika, the nobles, and then you have like people who are in debt slavery, that have to, you know, do all sorts of hard labor and circus performances to win their freedom.
It's cool how they're like fixed with blades.
Yeah, yung patalim, it's literally a cockfighting blade, but for human use.
That mimics the blade of the chicken.
Yeah. It's interesting. It's an interesting concept. Like, would that form of violence be socially acceptable if we were colonized?
Well, it's justified because
Because of the caste system. Like, oh, that's just a slave. You can do whatever you like with him, you know?
yeah, and you're technically trying to fight for favor.
Yeah, parang, okay, so I've won so and so battles. I deserve my freedom. Like, I probably owe the ringmaster some shit.
And in terms of like violence, you know, it's nice that anyone can challenge anyone. Like the old
the whole, there's a plot device that is used for Piolo Pascual, who is outcast. He's not even in the caste system. He's not even a slave. He is literally
banished.
he has no tattoos. So in the society, tattoos are used to mark your caste and your social affiliations. He's banished.
So he has no tat.
He has no tats. He literally can't buy shit from the sari-sari store.
Because they'll think that they don't want to be associated.
Yeah. So the plot device used to enable him to challenge the literal king is this ancestral law, which precedes even the ability of the king to become an instrument of the law. Like, the king has to follow this law of retribution.
And what is that law?
Mata sa mata, ngipin sa ngipin.
Yeah.
Which is again great use of what we know to be pre-colonial systems of justice. Yeah, cool shit.
Is a karambit, accurate?
If we're taking it as like, it definitely is a South Asian tool.
I didn't know
of
that.
combat. Yeah. So I like that they use different weapons.
Oh yeah, that, I was gonna say.
Yeah, because Vic Soto uses a Chris, and Piolo Pascual's character, si Sulo, uses a karambit. It's interesting.
And he was fighting, he's going.
Yeah. And Vic Soto had an unfair advantage, I'm just gonna say this, because his clothes had more shit on it. Granted, not much, but he had like rope here, and he had short sleeves. More shit for the blade to get caught on.
Oh yeah.
Whereas Piolo Pascual was wearing like a tank top. You know? But I like that because it showed the fact that bro had no tattoos. You know, he was a literal nobody fighting the king.
Oh.
Yeah. I like that juxtaposition.
And the king was still in some sort of fancy clothes.
Yeah, he's not garb, you know. So caught you there.
They're both suiting up.
They're both suiting. Yeah.
But they're both dressing down and then.
They're both dressing down, but at the same time they're showing who their character is. Again, production design, winner. Talk about the flag. There's a flag for the nation of Kalayaan.
The flag is badass. It's like I don't know what color. Like what
Navy
left
blue?
side. It's not even navy. It's like even darker.
Yeah, like a really dark navy blue.
And then there's 3 yellow stripes.
3 yellow stripes
Probably
that run
the-
diagonally. Probably Luzon, Visayas,
yeah.
Mindanao. Yeah.
And then was it one sun or triple?
Yeah, one sun in the corner, and then red field at the bottom, diagonal half, which is nice.
That's a sick.
That's
flag.
a really good design. That's vexillologically, that's the mark of a good flag. If you're going by vexillological principles, it's simple enough that a child can draw it from memory, and it's distinct enough that when you view it from afar, you know what it is, even if it's like folded and crumpled by the wind or something. So, A+ on whoever designed the flag.
But is purple universally a royal color? No.
Purple is no,
Or
not
Europe,
universally, just
Western.
Europe. just because purple snail shells were hard. That was the way that purple was manufactured in Europe, and it was very labor intensive to get that color of purple. That's why it's associated with royalty.
Oh.
Yeah. So here it makes sense that yellow, because gold, Philippines gold artifacts. All the Hindu Buddhist kingdoms of the past and all the, the animistic polities of the Tagalogs, different groups. Gold. Gold is the literal name of the game. Gold and fine China. China played a very, very small role in this one, which I'm kind of sad about.
Yeah, because they're one of the biggest traders with us.
Like China precedes our civilizations, shaped our civilizations,
but did not
colonize. Again, where is that Filipino-Chinese representation? None. Yeah, again, no mention of Muslim influence. You just see the Hindu-Buddhist influence on the visuals. That's about it.
The start was nice with the West Philippines.
Yeah, they did a whole allegory to the West Philippine Sea. Sintan was the name of the fictional Chinese counterpart. So that opens up a whole nother can of worms, because China is not called China, it's called Sintan. I'm like, what the fuck? Diba? They had a different flag too. It was like red.
Yeah. Red and yellow.
Red and yellow, but it didn't have any stars.
That's just horizontal.
Yeah. So
kind of like Thailand's flag.
So we can assume that China socialism did not take root in China, or maybe it has different symbols. Mao Zedong didn't exist.
The government palace was cool.
I like the design of the government palace. I don't like that they put it in Manila Bay. That's a very stupid place to put your seat of power. Especially because during the cabinet meeting, the parliamentary meeting, they were talking about rising coastlines and DRR and the climate crisis, and like people needed to relocate.
No, but it shows their incompetence.
Yeah. Well, could be. I mean, it's not too unrealistic, because you have Indonesia, who literally wants to move its capital inland. So maybe, I mean, like, it could be historically a very old palace. But yeah, I like the design of it. I like that it doesn't veer too far away from how Malacanang actually looks. Like, it still has the general structure of,
I like the Bakunawa.
Yeah, Bakunawa motif, real good. Do not let greed consume you, that kind of thing. Which the whole royal family forgot. I'm guessing the mom kept them humble. And when she died, that's when
they strayed away.
That's when the kingdom started to become very unpopular with the masses. Yeah. What else? What else did you like?
It's just crazy how, like, even in the movie, people are still living in poverty.
Yeah. Literally the same set of social issues are being protested by characters in the movie against. So
but this time you can just kill.
Yeah, you have the culture is different, but the economy is the same, which is really interesting to me. So instead of Spanish friars being the landowners, it's Maharlika, it's Timawa, and then they have Alipins who till the land, are indebted to them, So like it's cool that the answer to the question of like what would happen, the film's answer to the question of what would happen if we weren't colonized is
same thing.
We would just subjugate ourselves.
We are our
Interesting.
own enemy. We are our own enemy.
Yeah, which I think very much reflects the actual reality of things, where political families are still the most powerful entities.
Yeah, so like they say, we have God's blood, so everything we do is justified, or like if that's like here, we have money.
We have money
and influence.
Yeah.
So we are untouchable.
Interesting thought to entertain. That shit would not be too different. But again, that could just be for legibility, Like, for the sake of telling a story that is not too far from reality. Because if you actually went with the premise, I'm sure so much more would change. You know? But again, that's like being a nitpicky world building guy.
Like if you just like went all in and like
Yeah.
how different it would be.
You would end up with a very different looking country. But because it's a story about the Philippines, it's a good analog. That things change, but they also don't. Which is kind of how it is for the characters too. You know, like they go through all their circumstances. Like Big Soto goes on this whole arc of being an old king that has to come to terms with where his kingdom is going and where it has been. But then in the end, it's like he can't do shit.
Honestly, there are no good characters.
There are no good characters. Except
no
for
one-
maybe Piolo Pascual. just
There's
just
no
by
one-
virtue of being a helpful guy.
Only because of that. But then with what you said earlier, that like
Yeah,
just
he
went
turns
back,
heel.
yeah.
Like, come on.
There's no one that you're really attracted to or attached to.
Yeah. Bro was associated with a whole movement of like freedom fighters from the north. So here, a lot of Philippine leftist symbology. Baliktad na Tatsulok complete with the division for the 1%. It's a classic. It's a nat them, sock them, all them's classic. You know? Which I like.
Why was their flag red and green?
I guess because that, I don't know, that's my guess, UP colors.
No, that's what I was gonna say.
No, not UP colors. Probably NPA colors.
Or really?
Because NPA regular combatants wear green, long sleeves, and the color of the NPA flags are red. And they have triangles.
I really like the color maroon in this movie, and
Yes.
and like the aqua blue.
The blue is beautiful. Use of blue, beautiful.
The death scene was nice when they were
The death of the burial. Yeah.
not really burial because it's like
Burial at sea.
burial.
Bioshock. Yeah, the whole death ceremony, funeral. What else?
They're very in touch with water,
Yeah,
but it's also what's gonna kill them.
the navalness of it. Yeah, I like that. The funeral is water based. You know, I like that also. It's a plot point in the movie that the economy is shit because of overuse of natural water resources. So it's like instead of being a country that kind of fucks over its resources in one way, it's like, okay, if we continue to be a naval superpower in the region, we would fuck over our naval resources instead. That's an interesting hypothesis.
Things are finite.
Things are finite. So
And
in the
they're-
north, they're protesting mining, diba? Yeah.
And they still turn an eye to them. Just dumb.
Yeah, which is dumb. Climate crisis, it's real. Don't be fooled.
Oh yeah, because they said that they got hit by a bad typhoon.
Yeah.
Remember?
Yeah.
We all know. So that's also still a
So
problem.
the climate crisis is still a problem. Which again goes to show that it's not developing nations' fault that this shit is happening. It's the likes of the United States and Europe. Fuck those guys.
Yeah.
Amen. In general, I don't have a lot of gripe with the analysis of the world that the writers put forth. It's very realistic.
Just imagining spaceships.
Would we be capable of space?
No.
Would we even be
No.
interested?
No.
Yeah.
We're interested
We're not even
in the
industrialized in that alternate universe.
Water. We're interested in the water.
In the water, yeah. The waterway.
I don't know. I couldn't recognize the food well enough to tell if it was like
Faithful.
local cuisine. I
Yeah.
mean like
To be like completely. I mean, of course, vegetables from the galleon trade still had to appear. So again, that also confirms my suspicion that galleon trade happened in that universe. If the writers were even thinking about this stuff, I doubt they were. I doubt it made it into production. You know.
it's cool what they were saying like the princess is like oh it's krill, we mix this with whatever, the dried krill, and then they were like
Yeah, it was
we couldn't even dry it,
Yeah.
and instead of letting it spoil,
We just eat it.
Just eat it. Yeah.
Yeah. So it has the classic tropes of like, oh, you know, privileged Filipina girl, particularly, maputi, attractive, conventionally, gets, you know, shuttled off to wherever to find herself and her sympathy for the working class, which is a fairy tale as old as...
And it's not even evident. She didn't really seem
Yeah,
like...
she didn't really seem like she... Because they killed off Isa Calzado's character so unnecessarily... Most unnecessary death, Isa Calzado and her son. You know?
Why unnecessary?
Pure shock factor, man. Because they're the most... You sympathize with them the most, right? Because they left the secessionist movement, so they're not against the king and they don't condone the violence, I guess, being used by them. So the normal audience member would sympathize with them the most. And they provided safe harbor for Piolo Pascual's character and the princess. Yeah. So then you're just like,
No,
okay,
but-
they're great. They're good people, right?
No, but I think it's more of like they're innocent people who are getting killed. It's like the princess's fault. Parang
Yeah, and then
parang nadali lang
it
siya.
turns out to be the villain. Yeah, I guess. But I think in terms of the message the story wants to send, it kind of like, oh my god, they died.
There's 2 gunshots pa, no?
Yeah. They really had to drive it home that like both of them were killed. And they went back to check. Like Piolo Pascual and the princess went back to check. Ano nga yung, sino yung artista? Barbie? Is that Barbie? No, that's not Barbie.
Who?
Is it Barbie Fortaleza? The princess. Can you look it up? The Kingdom
Should be boss.
cast. Nah. I'm not gonna edit this.
Jamie Foxx.
Oh my gosh. The King. Yeah, there we go.
Sorry, Jamie Foxx.
Cast. Uy.
It's loading.
Yeah. Sue Ramirez. Sorry.
Who's that?
I'm an idiot. Sue Ramirez. So Sue Ramirez is the princess. The bunso princess. Matimyas. That's the kontrabida girlie's name. Christine Reyes. She killed it. Christine Reyes killed it. Not gonna lie.
Hey, my guy Zion Cruz. Felipe.
Zion Cruz, sorry, did not kill it. Underacted when his mom got shot.
Not. No, he got killed too.
I also like that Felipe is named Felipe.
Because she eloped, right?
Elope with who I think is a Spaniard.
Remember the king said you eloped with my rival.
Yeah.
Or
I
my
think-
rival nation.
Yeah, could be a national rival.
But why would it be Spain? Why would Spain be our? Because the only reason.
Maybe because we fucked them over, you know. Like maybe because they came here with the galleon trade, it persisted for a bit, and then we were like, no more, bye.
We were able to hold them off.
Yeah. So that would be an interesting plot point, I think, if Felipe is the son of a Spaniard and a Kalayaan royal.
So it's like she was deflowered.
Yeah,
By,
by someone who attempted to colonize us. And then the son is named literally after the monarch who we're currently named after.
And he's just like, it's fine because he has the blood of.
Yeah. Bathala. But he's like a sign of the colonization happening around the kingdom of Kalayaan. It's under a lot of pressure internationally, which is why it has to marry off one of its daughters to Thailand. For some reason, even though that we are not the same religion as Thailand, that makes no sense to me. If it's completely a political marriage, that's not how royal families operate. They have to be of the same religion.
Oh really?
Yeah, I mean like generally speaking.
Don't they convert sometimes?
Yeah. Oh yeah, that would imply that Sue Ramirez's character would have to convert, or something. It could just be things are different, you know.
They don't,
I'm willing to forgive it.
they don't really say what religion they are either, because like the king just says pray.
They believe in Bathala, so
Oh, yeah,
and
yeah,
they
yeah.
say gods. So
Oh,
we
yeah,
are
yeah,
assuming that Bathala is the king of the pantheon. They have a whole system of different gods to revere. Ostilai was mentioned, and another god of death was also mentioned. Very detailed stuff, very well researched.
I wish you could speak like that.
Yeah, no? I'm gonna title this video in pure all Tagalog. I'm gonna title it Dalawang kaibigang nagpapalit ng Kuro-Kuro hinggil sa pelikulang The Kingdom.
At isang kaibigan, pinasukan ng Espanyang yogurt.
Spihat Yao Yao. So, there's that. We have truly been colonized.
Why are they speaking in English?
Because it's a modern nation.
Oh,
In
because
which-
it's like a sign of affluence. Because they're educated.
And because the US is probably still a global superpower. A jeepney appears in the first scenes. Diba?
Oh, no, it's not just the basketball as well.
Jeepney and basketball. So we can assume that America also had military presence here during World War II. But we can assume that they did not have any further involvement.
No, but the Jeep is dumb.
I can still believe it. If we were an ally of the US, because it's implied that the US is still an ally.
Yeah, but why would it seem like we needed help? If we were good on, you know...
On the military front.
Yeah.
Well, the US wanted to project its power here anyway. Maybe the US colonized Indonesia in this one. I don't know. Oh, which they did, by the way, in real
very
life.
intentional. That scene. That's two things at home.
That's
Like,
two American
we
exports.
We
yeah.
looked at each other.
Yeah. Me and people
right
were like,
away.
hey, those two things are from America. Like immediately I was listening for like loan words because that's one of the things they said they tried to remove as much as they could. And they did. Great work. But again, you can't avoid using certain loan words which would give away the plot or like which would make you have to assume something for the plot to work. But yeah, jeepney, basketball, two very American things. So I had to assume that American soldiers were here for quite a bit. And the Spaniards were clearly there for quite a bit because you have people named, aside from Felipe, the son of the grandson of the king, Triunfante, the name of the prime minister. His first name is Triunfante. And I'm just like, yo, triumphant in Spanish. Yeah.
What are their names?
Yeah, the character names. All the royal family, great, named after old Tagalog words for different virtues. You know, Bagwis, Matimyas, Luwalhati. Not really a virtue, more of a concept or whatever.
Esteban? Is that the no?
Esteban, that's literally Steven.
And Liwanag?
Yeah. Buong galing. Buong galing. Buong galing liwanag. That's crazy. Carpio, another Spanish name. So we can assume that the Spanish were in fact in Kalayaan, you know? And they had some level of influence. Again, words like tatay, tito.
But what did that did? Like I was like wondering if some words should have been pronounced like tatay.
Yeah, glottal stops, would they have been more prevalent? But in general, Tagalog is the least glottal stoppy. Or it's not a very glottal stoppy compared to something, say, like Hiligaynon or Cebuano, you know? Because they have like tamis. First is tamis. But I don't know if that's because of heavy Spanish influence or not. Because they don't have glottal stops. Not a lot. Cool point to bring up. Yeah, could have weight.
What's up, Sir Josh?
What's up, Sir Josh? Ano pa? Jeepney, basketball. We're nitpicking here on the world building because it's just like it raises a lot of questions. You know?
Join us next week for our review on the movie Virgin Forest.
Virgin Forest? Is that MMFF? No, right?
No, it's a bold film. With Sid Lucero.
Okay. Viva Max?
Yeah, Viva Max.
Oh nga no, he is a bold star.
Yeah.
Bro does bold. Oh nga no.
No, but he did really well.
Yeah, in this one. I really hated this guy. Like,
But I felt for him at the end.
yeah, I mean, in the end, all the kids just wanted their dad's favor because he was pouring all that shit onto Sue Ramirez's character. because she's the bunso, you know, and she looked like the mom the most, which again,
That's a good dagger throw.
it's a good, yeah. Saved his dad during the scene where they're trying to negotiate with the people of the Cordilleras, the northern rebels.
You notice the execution scene at the start?
Yeah,
They use guns.
they use guns.
But then for Piolo's dad,
He used
they
knives.
use
So
blades.
again, the modernization here, it takes a while for.
But guns should have been already around.
Yeah, I mean, if we did World War II with the Americans, all the guns should have like been left here.
It's not like Piolo's dad was killed in the 70s.
Yeah, in
Even
the
before.
yeah, it would have been assuming it takes place in 2024 or 2025. That would be like 30, 40 years ago. The 80s, it would have been the 80s. The guns would have been here.
I don't like them using places that we could recognize or like the roads here because they're supposed to be developed.
I can believe that things still look like that.
It's so bad.
It's bad, which again reflects the state of how things are in that universe where things actually haven't changed that much.
You know that hospital that they were in?
Yeah,
I think
SM
that was-
Aura. There was
Yeah.
SM Aura. I like that choice actually. I like the choice of making SM Aura into the royal family's hospital.
Okay, I thought it was just me. Who thought it was
Yeah.
SM
I recognize SM Aura. It was either the bridge, it was either
Guadalupe.
Guada or Mangahan.
I don't know manga.
Yeah. Somewhere along the Pasig. So, yeah.
How do they have access to a beach?
Ah, yeah. Maybe Dolomite Beach, Manila Bay. It's right next to the palace.
No, but I mean in the story.
In the story,
What beach
where
would
else did
that
they have? Like where would they have filmed it in real life? No, in the
part?
story, I think Manila Bay.
Beach?
Yeah, I think they would have developed it too, in a similar fashion. Because it wasn't just a beach; there was trees. So mangrove. We can assume that to some extent, the mangroves of Manila Bay were preserved, ish. Yeah, that's just my one-off observation on that scene. It's like, makes sense. The royal palace is right there.
Thank you, Adolf, for suggesting to watch this movie.
Fun watch. Again, barring the fact that Vic Soto is the leading man,
Wait, okay.
watch that shit.
Who would you replace him?
There are a lot of options. I can't remember their names, obviously, because I don't patronize Philippine cinema enough. But I have faces in mind, you know. But okay, fine. If you need a middle-aged man who is old but not too old, sure.
He's old.
He was the right age for the character.
True.
Yeah. Like parang still able to fight, but clearly this is a man who knows that it's only downhill from here.
Piolo Pascual forever.
Piolo Pascual. Pio's thesis statement, Piolo Pascual is the Tom Cruise of the Philippines, but he's taller. And he has more teeth. Because you know Tom Cruise only has that one tooth in the middle.
They both have moles in their face.
They both have face moles, very similar bone structure. I was very disappointed that Piolo Pascual was not seen latching onto the truck during the chase scene. Again, I think the movie lacked more movie magic, you know? The art of filmmaking, like of making things look a certain way.
Okay, that scene didn't make sense to me where he's chasing after a guy who didn't pay him enough. Because he's poor as he is, he wouldn't just trash his motorcycle. Like,
No, but he saw that there was a lady being kidnapped. That shows that he's a principled man.
oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, they were making eye contact. Sue Ramirez's character, si Luwalhati, was draped in a sack, a burlap sack, and like there was a hole through it so he could see the eyes of a lady. And he was like, this shit's sketchy. Hops on his motorcycle, goes after the guys. Most unprofessional kidnappers ever. For an armed secessionist movement.
Which has what do you call this? Which has connection to the middle daughter.
Yeah, which has connections with the middle daughter, to the state's resources. So you would think that they have access to at least, you know, mercenaries who can teach these people how to do KFR, kidnap for ransom. But
Or
no.
maybe it shows the inexperience of the middle daughter and she just did it.
Yeah. And just how just how sorely developed the nation actually is. Oh, because if we weren't subjugated by the U.S. militarily, they wouldn't have trained our, our military and our.
Makes sense. No, but like the middle daughter, the evidence of the inexperience, just like she doesn't have a plan. So she's not really evil. It's just there.
Yeah. She really didn't account for a lot of externalities in the plan, which makes me believe that like her primary motivation really was to just get approval from her father. So there are better ways to do that. Just saying. There are better, less messy ways to do that. Yeah. So your verdict on Tim is character-wise not very a little shaky, huh? And then there's that whole scene at the end where, Marvel Cinematic Universe style end credit scene.
Oh, that one didn't make sense to me.
Yeah. She's happy in her jail cell. She's like, she eats a bite of her dinner and she's like, how am I gonna retake the throne from my younger sister?
I thought Tarek was in cahoots with her because I think they smiled at her.
Yeah, Tarek smiled. I think Tarek's just a happy servant of the household,
I thought she was gonna have like stuff inside of the thing he gave her because he gave her cubiertos.
Yeah. I thought there was gonna be like a key in there or something. Yeah. I would watch a teleserye with Tarek as one of the main characters.
I'd watch a teleserye in general.
Yeah. Love the names. Tarek, the Minister of Interior, the confidant of Vic Soto, his name is Teban.
Teban, yeah.
Esteban. But they kind of they removed the S part. And that somehow makes it more Southeast Asian.
No, but Teban sounded very...
It sounds Southeast Asian, no?
But then knowing it's Esteban, like,
Yeah. They should have just kept it as Teban, not gonna lie. But yeah, I guess they established the link of the Spanish actually being here for a little bit.
I think we should watch old movies to see how bad they are. They're very funny.
They are.
I've not been watched
I've never seen one, but I know that
they're memes.
I've seen trailers.
No, they're memes.
And memes, yeah. Old films. It's a big industry. Yeah. Is Viva Max the monopoly here? Or are there other studios that produce
I wouldn't know.
such lewd content?
Support Sid Lucero.
Support Sid Thesis statements. Piolo Pascual is Tom Cruise. Support Sid Lucero. Make more shit like The Kingdom. I want to see spin-offs. I want to see a sequel.
No, just...
I want to see things in a similar setting.
People's own interpretations of what could have been.
Yeah. It's an interesting project. I like it. For what it is. Who directed it? Not that I would know, I just want to know the name.
You have to load this for Michael Tuviera.
Michael Tuviera.
Good job, Michael.
Good job, Michael. You hired good writers too. Actually, the direction I thought was weak at times. There were some scenes where I'm like, you could have done a retake of that and it would have been way more effective. Vic Soto, he's very tentative in some scenes. And I'm just like, you could have done a retake. It was like a less than 6-second shot. Just do it again and have him do the hand gestures a bit later. Nitpicking. That might be Vic Soto, The hand symbols. Cool shit. Reference to Gladiator, the whole sabong scene. Very, very Joaquin Phoenix. Sid Lucero was channeling Joaquin Phoenix with that one, I think. Very Gladiator also, the final scene. The penultimate scene where...
Why is everyone watching?
Everyone was there. Again, it suffers from the same disease that all Filipino television and cinema suffers from. The fact that stage plays is the dominant format for acting media here. Stage play. So everything, if you notice the blocking, everything is shot like it's a stage play. Do you notice that?
Like a play?
Yeah, like you're watching it on a stage.
Oh yeah.
Diba?
Yeah.
Granted, they do use
like
shot,
lights in the
reverse
middle.
shot. Yeah, lights in the middle. All the characters
But it's
very
a freaking
neatly
movie.
blocked. Yeah, again, because that's the level of filmmaking we're at.
Why would they be watching it? That's kind of awkward, man.
Yeah.
Or maybe it's to add fuel, you know,
That's the level of filmmaking.
like motivation to live for your family and your friends
Yeah.
and your kingdom.
And your kingdom.
The middle child slut me out for a kingdom.
Literally. I admire the character's political motivations above anything else. I wanted to see her remain in the throne,
Yeah, that would have
and
been
then
really cool.
and then keep her sister in check because her sister knows the shit, but she can't outright kill her. So then Piolo Pascual ends up actually being a useful bodyguard to this princess, right? Come on, that's how I would have rewritten the ending.
Parang they just forever.
There's forever that
they're at
tension.
odds,
Yeah.
yeah.
See? So easy, guys. But no, you have to have a neat little ribbon and you have to have the happy ending because that's how Philippine cinema and television works. And how are we ever gonna elevate from that if we don't try it out, you know?
Yeah.
Ah.
Who cares if you know people don't like it? Like we tried it.
Yeah. I think where this project did push the usual audience assumptions, Filipino audience assumptions, and what we're used to, good. I wish there was one more thing, and I wish it was the ending. I wish we left room for
Wait, where did you say they were pushing?
complication and tension.
Where did you say they were pushing?
I think it pushed assumptions and what we're used to in terms of one premise, the whole concept of like, what if we didn't get colonized? That's pretty radical to me. That's a
yeah.
pretty radical premise to make a big budget film about. And I think it's a sign of the times that decolonization it's a thing, and people are thinking about it. People are thinking about how we were fucked over historically, which is great. I love that.
Oh, it's cool that they had their own money.
Yeah, the banknotes. The production team, they made banknotes with Vic Soto's face on it.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yeah, it was Vic Soto's face.
I just like the color.
The color was very bright.
Vibrant.
Yeah. Like literally the same color as the 1,000 peso bill, the 500 peso bill, 200 peso bill.
But they're just more vibrant.
But very, very saturated. Which is cool.
It looked like you're holding a fish.
Yeah. And again, you know that this nation of Kalayaan is not industrialized. Because Piolo Pascual manages to sell his like Depindot phone for 2,000 pesos. Pesos. I don't know what they wouldn't be called pesos unless because the peso was imported from Mexico. But then again, it's a Spanish thing. I don't think they would accept that. What would you call Kalayaan money?
Libres.
But libras would be Spanish for free. I would go with something Arabic, like from the word salafi or salaf, you know, something with the SLF. The Arabic influence also so lost. They really went hard on the what do we have indigenously as Austronesians, so very Taiwan adjacent, Cordillera adjacent, mountain people adjacent.
Taiwan?
Yeah, because if you notice the indigenous textiles of Taiwan, they're very similar to Cordilleras and other yeah. So that influence is very heavily worn. Leaned into the whole Austronesian Hindu-Buddhist thing, but yeah, Arab influence, Chinese influence, nowhere to be seen. Sad.
I think this movie shows that the North is evil, so I hope Baguio blows up.
Hot take. Should
Lukewarm.
lukewarm, cold take even. People don't like Baguio these days.
No, I don't like Baguio.
Oh, Pia doesn't like Baguio. But people also are complaining that the Baguio kind of sucks nowadays. Just because of how many people there are going there. Pio has personal reasons. I won't get into that.
Is this a sign to start a podcast?
I think it is, man.
This is fun.
Right? It's fun to just yap. What else? What else didn't we like about the movie? I think I've said all I need to say. I just like a lot of the there's so much there. There's so much that you can unpack and you can have very generous readings of. But again, I think the concept is heavily bogged down by the fact that you have to tell a story in a way that most of your audience can understand. I would love to see a remake of The Kingdom in 30 to 40 years. When the country is a bit more economically developed, people see more movies in general, people read more books, and we have more time for leisure and media.
How are you sure we're gonna make it?
Again, climate crisis, very real. 30 to 40 years, we could just be a scattered bunch of villages at that point. I don't think the United States is gonna make it in the next 30 to 40 years. My prediction. That's an empire in decline right there. The United States of America.
I'd give them longer, but their downwards trajectory is
Very
fast.
clear, yeah. It's fast and it's hard and fast. Maybe it still exists, but I don't think it holds as many citizens or territory as it does today.
And it doesn't hold the same commanding power. Like,
Yeah, the military power, the projection. The soft power?
Yeah.
I
do not fear the whites.
Yeah. Like the repercussions of upsetting the whites is gonna be gone within the next 30 to 40
White
years.
people to us now, it's just Peter Griffin. They're all Peter Griffin.
Fatties, a lot of them. So, I would like to say that if anyone thinks I hold racist prejudices against people of other races,
we should do a weekly podcast. It's like 30 minutes long,
Should.
and then we just talk about whatever.
we really could. We have so much that we talk about. We really could do anything. Is it still recording? It better be. It still is.
Wow, dude, your phone is cool.
Yeah, it's
My
holding
phone
up.
will
It's
not
holding up.
record that long.
The Kingdom, go see it. I don't know how. If you're hesitant to give Big Soto money, well, one, he's already been paid. I don't think he gets royalties off of this. Two, pirate it. Sorry, I hate to promote piracy of local films, especially, but you know, if you're really that hard on Vic Soto, which you have every right to be, by the way, really shitty guy. Yeah, but go see it. And again, I hope it gets remade in 30 to 40 years without all the explanation, without all the info dumping, without all the explicit dialogue. Make it, but everything is subtle and everything is implied and everything is visual.
Hey, but I am those Filipinos though.
Yeah,
Honestly.
I know. I mean, you don't watch nearly as many movies as someone like me, and so the media literacy is not at the same grade. But you're thinking about stuff that other audience members wouldn't even think about.
The portrait of the king is cool. It's like the Thai.
Yeah,
king.
the Thai royal portrait. Again, wears its Hindu-Buddhist influences very heavily on its sleeve. It gets the whole aesthetic of being Southeast Asian royalty, but I think it lacks the world building is lacking in terms of what does that do to your psyche and your language. Again,
This is
yeah.
a plug for the kingdom, but also watch Kung Fu Panda 1 to 4.
Mm-hmm.
Po,
Despicable Me 1 to 4 as well.
yeah, Despicable
Yes.
Me 1 to 4, because Po from Kung Fu Panda is from Poland.
Yes.
Fuck, it doesn't hit like yesterday.
Yeah, it doesn't. Sadly.
But Piolo Pascual, ani siya ng ng Vegas.
Yeah.
Nagpalay pala.
Nagani siya ng palay. So,
And saan galing yung palay?
sa China.
No. That's big.
Las Vegas. Yeah, from Las Vegas. So stupid. That's so stupid. Yeah, The Kingdom. Good watch. Thought-provoking watch.
The kingdom's logo is ass.
The film logo, the film title, the title card. So illegible, so illegible.
It's not even the same crown that they're wearing.
Yeah, it's Western style, but they try to make it look like the whole head wrap, Thai head wrap crown. Doesn't
No,
work
it
at all.
does not even look like that.
It doesn't even work, yeah. No, I see what they were trying to do, but again, it completely falls short.
I like the princess, like golden head wrap. crown. That one
Yeah,
is sick.
yeah. I
That's
don't
sick.
love that. Oh well, actually, never mind. That's a nitpick. I won't say it. In the wedding scene, the prince and the king are dressed very similarly, which again was my gripe at first. But then I thought about it, and I was like, oh yeah, of course, because
They're the same
that's his
family.
chosen heir.
No, but
So
they're the
he
same
also wants
family.
to. Yeah, they're the same family, but also like generally royal families won't match up that fast.
I was wondering why the wedding dress was white.
Yeah.
I don't know.
What's up with that?
Or maybe it's just so hard to decide the color, you know?
Or maybe it's again being held back by how familiar the audience is with other things. We know wedding dresses are white, and you have to communicate that. Okay, she's in a
Because
wedding dress.
He's in a wedding.
She's wearing white.
She's in a white gown. She's gonna get married.
Yeah. Thing I didn't like also, one too many scenes of Sue Ramirez being carried toward the camera by Piolo Pascual so that her butt is facing the camera. That's just a tiny little gripe that I have. I was just like, you only had to do that once, if at all, Okay. Random shit. Just like, come on, is that necessary? But then again, I might be the bad one for thinking of it, for applying malice to it. But again, I have to consider the fact that filmmaking is about putting things in front of a camera and then framing it. Everything is intentional.
It's maybe not to show her butt. It's more of just she's being carried like a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, but again, you could do that with her face towards the camera and them walking away. But that might have been too comedic, too Wes Anderson, too funny. That's a nitpick. That's a
Who
nitpick.
carries a sack of potatoes like that?
Who does? Yeah, they have motorcycles. I'm just saying. Well, yeah, I mean, if you're manual labor, you do carry a sack of potatoes.
Yeah, or ganon.
Yeah,
Not
not with both
kung
hands.
sa harap, may harapan ka lang.
Yeah, you could do that. You could do that like this. Anyway, corny shit. They use that line in the end also when Piolo Pascual is coming back to to Luwalhati. As a callback to their time together.
Why is he like being like, I need you?
Yeah,
That
I don't know
doesn't
why
make
this
sense.
boy is in love with Luwalhati. Like,
Why'd you point to me?
no, Piolo
Just
Pascual. Piolo Pascual. Yeah,
That
again,
doesn't make sense. I was like,
Yeah.
why?
the Piolo Pascual, Luwalhati,
She should
Sue
own
Ramirez.
you. She should own you.
Yeah,
Not you owing
that
her.
relationship undercooked as fuck. And ham-fisted, if I might add.
What is ham fist?
Ham-fisted, it's like
When you punch a ham?
it's a really big fit. Like forced,
Oh.
forced and it's fast. It's like it's very rough. They kind of just
The fight scene
put
in the
that
Bahay
there.
Kubo was cool though.
Yes, I
Because of
agree.
the shadows from the...
I like the lighting in that scene as well. A lot of really cool set pieces that are held back again by Hollywood style filmmaking, cutting when the action happens, and two, not enough movie magic.
I honestly thought they were gonna make Piolo Pascual king.
I knew they weren't going to, because that would have been too unbelievable. That would have been too stupid. I would have walked out of the theater if that happened. Not gonna lie. I was almost scared that they were gonna do it because he had a very royal garb.
No,
on
I know.
in
That's
the
a bit
last
too much.
Yeah, and he stood very near the throne, so I was scared that he was gonna become king, but he didn't. And I was like, okay, thank God they're not that stupid. Overall, it's not a very stupid movie. It's thought provoking. Yeah. It's good. It's a good movie. I think that's my piece. If I think of anything, I'm gonna post it on Instagram.
I think they underutilized Piolo Pascual.
Yeah. Again, the whole scene where he crashes off of his motorcycle and jumps onto a moving
He
truck.
can do that, man.
You can do that. Movie magic.
No, he can do that. He climbs.
He can do that.
He climbs.
Piolo Pascual is a climber. That's why he's so jacked, bro. He's jacked enough to be a rice farmer. That's
He
another
takes
thing.
care of his body. Man
Yeah.
works out.
Century Tuna, Super Buds. Come on. Was he ever? Yeah, he was.
Yes, he was,
Yeah.
man.
Again, movie magic. That's so. Not that it's so easy. I say it's so easy to do, like doable with the budget that they had. They could have shown Piolo Pascual, on wire. Again, like Why are we shying away from the fact that we used to make movies like fucking FPJ?
No, yeah.
You know?
And you have Piolo
People
Pascual.
were on wire all the
You have
time.
Piolo Pascual, might as well use him.
Yeah, bro knows how to use wires, right?
In Malyari, he was doing crazy shit. He's going crazy.
Have to see Malayali. But yeah, not enough movie magic with the action set pieces and bogged down by Hollywood. You know, the punch hits and then it cuts to a different shot. Stupid! Make fight scenes like the East Asians, or at least the Chinese and Hong Kong cinema, you know?
In the end, in the fight scene, I know that the king dropped his dagger, and then why did they make it seem like Piolo got stabbed?
The suspense, you know? But you heard it, right? You
I heard the clang.
cling, clang, clang.
I heard
Yeah,
the
the
clang.
suspense of like, who got killed? But obviously Vic
So
Soto's
obvious.
Vic Soto's performance was not subtle at all with that one. It was like,
But he's not really used in like fighting.
Piolo's performance in that was good because it was ambiguous. I thought Piolo might have been the one who got stabbed here. But then Vic Soto, they showed it Vic Soto's face and I was like, okay, clearly someone.
Mans was coming.
Yeah. I think that was a situation wherein the director should have given a script with a different outcome and then meshed together the shots.
Oh.
Yeah. That way it's ambiguous to the audience. Like, who got killed? Bro.
And don't drop the fucking dagger if you don't want the audience to guess who died.
No, well, I can believe that one is okay with me because it
because
means
the-
one of them won and one of them lost, but you don't know who.
Because
It
the
raises
king
the
could have
stakes.
like redirected the blade towards.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then like you could have disarmed Piolo and then chopped him up. But as the you know, I was trying to think of a Kalayaan related figure of speech, but I couldn't think of any because I don't live there.
I don't like Kalayaan Road.
I don't like Kalayaan.
Not good.
Yeah. I have sentimental memories about Kalayaan just because it's where I work for my first job, but that's another thing. I don't like Kalayaan as the name of a country.
Yeah, they're just called free.
Yeah, freedom country, the land of the free people. Sure,
They should have been called Garbo.
could have been called like Katauhan. You know, literally the people. That's what most countries are just called the place of the people. You know?
In their own language.
Yeah. Like most demonyms, names of ethnic groups, just translates to the people. Like, come on. People of the blank, people of the river. But again, you don't wanna give off the impression that this is a completely Tagalog kingdom, even though it is.
Yeah.
It is a Tagalog kingdom at the end. Which is an interesting hypothesis again also, because it implies that the Tagalogs, the reason that the Tagalogs are dominant today, I think is mainly due to the Spaniards and the Americans, just by incidents of geography. That they landed,
it's in the
in
middle.
Manila, that Cortez, was it Cortez who took Manila? No, Cortez, sorry, is South American conquistador.
Didn't they start in Cebu?
What's his name?
Wait, didn't they start in Cebu?
Yeah, Magellan landed in Mactan. But the conquistadors, because Magellan was just an expeditioner, right?
Oh yeah, he didn't want
Yeah, the actual military expedition started in what's his name? Lopez? No, not Lopez. I can't believe I'm forgetting the name of our conquistador, man. I hate that guy. Anyway, yeah, that guy, you know, destroyed the kingdom of Tondo.
His name is Vic Soto.
That's why he became king, you know. Prince Lakan Makisig.
Shout out section Makisig. Bro.
Prep Makisig?
Makisig.
Yeah, Prep Makisig.
And you know who was there with me?
Almost.
Ton Gomez.
Oh, Ton Gomez. Shout out to Ton Gomez. Ton, if you're in the comments.
Wait, the fuck did you go out tonight?
Yeah. Should have watched The Kingdom with us.
No more 10 p.m. hangouts.
No more 10 p.m. hangouts.
9 p.m. max.
That's all I have, dude. I'm all out of thoughts on The Kingdom. Any last words?
Watch it.
Watch it. Yeah. Watch MMFF films. Support local cinema. Just make sure you.
They gave it a try. They gave it a very good try.
Yeah.
We respect that.
More projects like that, please.
Yeah.
Of that scale, of that concept.
Historical films, sir. Not sorry, it's not historical.
It kinda
History.
is.
History fiction.
Yeah. Historical fiction. There we go. Yeah, yeah. Good shit. Maliari is also historical fiction. It's an historical urban legend, and then they decided to adapt it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, just watch Piolo Pascual, man.
Piolo Pascual. Watch more movies with Piolo Pascual in it.
The question is, how does he have a son but no wife?
Who?
Piolo.
It just be like that.
Yeah. This man never want to get married?
Lifelong bachelor. Piolo Pascual, if you're looking for a partner,
Hit us up.
hit us up.
We can call you daddy anytime.
Real shit. Valid. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Married?